Sure, let's record. And then do that. Okay. Well, we got all the things connected and we're recording and we're good to go. So, how's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a long weekend there too? Labor Day, we Canada here, we had Labor Day weekend.
You're out in Canada. Yeah. We here in the States had the same thing.
Oh yeah, okay. Now the kids are all back at school for us anyway. And a day of freedom to work and get stuff done. Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
Um,
All the days blend together anymore. It's not even weekends for me anymore. It's just
oh, I
okay,
know,
what
right?
project do I got to do today? And then somebody reminds me, you know what day it is?
No, I
Actually, it's
don't
my
know what day.
calendar going off every
I
day.
only I only know because well, now it'll be the kids are at home, but summertime, you're right. Like it just kept going. Emily, I know you guys how did you guys manage with getting some of your stuff set up there over the weekend?
I feel like I need a lot of help.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm missing some major steps. And yeah, I'm so glad to be here right now.
okay. Okay. So yeah, if you guys have questions, so then we'll just go like I don't have anything else to talk about really here. So if you guys want to raise your hand or post your question in the chat, then we'll go into it. Emily, if you want to go first.
Hey, what's up? Good. How you been? All right?
I'm gonna mute Anthony. I think he's talking on the phone. Um Yeah, Emily. So where did you guys get to and what questions do you have? I know where my goal here is to try to learn and make the training slash setup better, easier. So any feedback you have is cool. And yeah, let me know and I can answer any questions for you right now.
Okay, perfect. So I think part of it is similar to like what my experience with Go High Level in that we're not an agency, so some
Mhm.
of things don't apply to us, and I'm never really sure if I should still do the steps or if that only is applicable to somebody who, has an agency or not. So I'm not
Okay,
I'm a little unsure, and I'm very new to Go High Level as well. So like probably the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I feel like I'm pretty good at learning new things,
sure.
tech wise, but also just there's a little bit of a learning
You've
curve.
got
So
a huge learning curve ahead of you with all the things
yeah,
because high
yeah,
level has a million things and then ours has another 500,000 things in there
yeah.
that you can do, right? And the like understand and one of the reasons why we went the direction that we've gone with the snapshots and stuff that we have is because when we had everything a la carte and you had all these different pieces, then it was another learning curve of like, how do we piece these things together now and make those things work? So now what we tried to do is kind of do like the business in a box style thing where we've got the pieces there, but you just got to figure out which ones you want to use. And it's there ready for you. So you guys are setting it up for your is it consignment or is it it's just
No,
thrift kind of thing
so
used?
it's very, very unique in that we don't sell anything. So
Okay.
there's no, everything is free. And the way that I shouldn't say it's free. It's on a points system. So when they bring items into the store, they get points for those items. And then when they take items out, they use their points. So the money essentially to buy the clothing items is through a point system that we developed.
Okay.
And then the way they gain access to the store is through a monthly or annual membership. So,
Okay.
so it's a membership-based clothing swap, and we're
Very neat.
transitioning. Yeah, so we just need to be able to right now. I shut everything down that we were using in Square over the weekend,
Okay.
and we're doing it all manual until I can get this part
Okay.
in place. So, yeah.
Um, so do you have a question today of like what's the next step you need to do or what did you get to
Yeah,
or
so two things where I kind of feel like I'm at is one, I know we talked briefly on Thursday about how to get my list of clients into the loyalty
yeah.
program so that we can assign points to everyone, or if they have points on their account, it'll show up. So that is one question that I have.
Okay.
And then the second question would be, where do I go? I put in some of the rewards. Like, I think I did that correctly, but I'm not 100% sure. Where would I go to put the rewards in so that we can do that on our end? And then when we check them out, how do I take them off again? So just that, I'm a little bit confused as to where I set those things up at and how to set them up.
Okay, so do you have your customers already in high level?
They are in high level, yep.
Okay. And do you have points? Do you have their points attached to them somehow in there?
As a custom value, yep.
Oh, in a custom field on
Yep,
their
yeah, yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So do you want to open up, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, for sure.
I can even probably take control of your stuff there too if you want. But go into your high level account. You have as many tabs open as I do.
Yes. Okay, here we go. So within a contact,
Okay.
their points are just thought it was right there, right here. This person doesn't have any points, but this is where they are if they have points.
Okay, so you just called the points. Okay, perfect. So what you want to do is if you go to automation, do you have the snapshot and stuff installed in here
I think
already?
based on the
And
instructions
did
you
you
gave
do
me,
the restaurant? Did you do the restaurant one?
um
Just the base one.
that I don't know.
You could do either or. Okay, scroll down. Oh, I'm just looking on the right here. Can you scroll down in your workflow list?
Oh, sorry.
Do. This is probably not the one that we want to use
Okay.
in here. So I would recommend we do the restaurant one. The only reason being the restaurant one is really set up well for retail too. So they're very similar.
Okay.
Um, we also have that also has like the promotion system and stuff set up in there too. So if you wanted to use the promotions flyer type thing down the road, that's all set up in there as well. So August 29th, you have loyalty cards installed. Do you mind if I take
No, please.
request control? Request control there. Okay, cool. Uh
Mm,
Sure. Okay, I think I got it.
okay.
Oh,
Did that work?
I
Okay.
think so. Okay. Let's just have a look here. Did you install a di couple different snapshots or just the
I was just trying to follow the
okay.
Theo tutorials, so
Okay.
I
Sure. Let's go. Um I'm gonna remove some of these things here. These are odd. Let's just go to I just want to see for sure what you have in here. So we have promotions and we have the loyalty card. Okay, so we're gonna remove these and then we're going to install the restaurant one.
okay.
It has all those things already built into it.
Okay.
And then it's a little bit better. So we might have a little bit of duplication in here, but we'll try to clean it up as much as we can.
Okay.
Let's go here. It's too bad we can't we can't just mass delete some stuff. I might just rename some of this stuff to old as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we don't have to. Well, it's just, yeah, okay. Sorry, well, I've been meaning to call the restaurant one too, like restaurants and retail, because it does make sense, like from what you can do with it, that it would just work for retail as well. And
Okay.
it's a really versatile snapshot, really, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to use it specifically for restaurants, but automations, I believe that's your own.
That was just the basic one that high level had, which I'm
Okay.
not using anything from that.
Okay, we're gonna reply with transaction. Let's remove this one. You know, if I could type properly, it would be great. Yeah, there's like a slight delay when doing it. So you type and then you're like, oh, also my fingers. So these are going to go back in, but I just want to make sure we have the right ones in there. I am today I will be making a like kind of a light version of the restaurant reward system that just promotes that's all just around promotions. So we had one restaurant agency ask if we could just do that because they're doing more SaaS and they don't want to do all the loyalty and everything like that. So we will be I'll have that available later too. It's gonna be mostly promotions. So promotions coupon after redemption.
I think that
Just
was the other thing that was a little bit like I wasn't quite sure if they're like based on my use case what which program, I
yeah,
needed. Do I need both the promotion and the loyalty? Do I only need one of them? So I
yeah.
also feel like some of those questions are not really helpful in terms of how you can improve because it's so unique to the way I don't know that there's a whole lot of other
Oh, I've
people.
got so many different agencies doing so many different things
Yeah,
with it. Like I've got, yeah, we've got one recording studio and they've got three different they're kind of like their own agency, but they've got three different recording studios and they use the loyalty points for all that kind of stuff. And we just set it up for a martial arts studio that again, it's like, how do you want to use it? So it's kind
right.
of having an idea of, and then your system is going to be unique as well compared to how everyone else sets it up. So it's trying to cover some of the bases, but
Cool.
hard to get everything. So when, yeah, I would suggest if you have a unique system of how you want to have things set up, then I would definitely reach out and either come on here or book a call
Okay.
too, and then we can chat through it. I'm gonna go. This is your. What's the name of your? Uh, what was that sub account that we
Twitch
have?
Society
Switch
is my
Society.
contact. Mhm.
Just gonna put the name in here too, so we know which one it is. Oh, that's weird.
Does it need to be like the exact name?
No, it doesn't. I just weird that it's giving me a 404 error there. I'm gonna have to take a look at seeing why it would do that because that shouldn't do that at all. Oops. Oh, come on. That's a lowly program. Okay, well, we'll just leave that for a second here and then we'll see what's. Okay, I'm not going to take a look at that right now, but anyways, that should be right. But it's not for some reason. It's leading to a different page. So we're going to click on restaurant rewards here.
So I couldn't click on that. That was the thing that I was struggling with, and I didn't know why it wouldn't allow me to click on it. I could never get any either of them.
Oh, can you click on any of those?
No, I couldn't click on any of them. So then I went
I
back
wonder
in.
if it's because that is super weird. Okay, well then next thing I'm gonna do is um how do I get out of here again? Okay, give me a second. Um I wonder if does anybody else have a problem like that on a Mac that it's doing that? I don't know if I'll have to see if I can change something on here that would allow it, but I'll just grab the snapshot from that is super weird.
Well, they're using a Mac, so that is the problem.
I'll have to yeah, I haven't heard anybody else say that they haven't been able to get into it, but clearly it's not working. So rewards dashboard. Um what am I doing? Smart scripts. There we go.
I mean, I get that it's me, but also I'm glad that
No,
it's not.
that's super. That's weird. I haven't seen that. So it's just like they're just regular buttons. So I don't know why you wouldn't be able to click on it. So that clearly needs to be fixed, or else um no one's gonna be able to click on those links. And restaurant, snare chest, link. Okay. I am going to how can I do this? Because I don't know if I can paste something and send it to you. Well, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna put in chat
Okay.
here, and then I might need you to click on it and open it
Okay.
because I can't see any of the chat stuff on your end.
Yep.
Yeah, and then click yes, import now.
Mm, where is that? It's not. Oh, it's behind this. There
It
we
might
go.
be behind some pictures, yeah, or some faces. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to figure out why or how. Here I can take control again. Okay, so sub accounts. That was really weird that we can't click on that link.
So that might have been part of the issue that I was having, and that I couldn't get to the next steps of things, because I couldn't get those. I thought I was following the
I
instructions.
would 100% say that is what the problem was.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So we are going to have a little bit of duplication here, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal because we didn't install loyalty and rewards before. Okay, see, now we have all these things in your sub account here. Okay, so now that we have those in there, what you're going to want to do, and this is a little more simple, I would think. Okay, so inside of automations, if we go to, I think it's under rewards. Still might have to wait for a little bit for everything to come through. Let's expire. Okay, it's still loading a few things. Okay, so add rewards, contact, and give points. This is the one that we're going to use. And since you already have the contacts in here that have points with them, what we're going to do is click on this one and we're going to make a change. So we're still doing drip mode. I always recommend that. Add a tag to rewards members. So you can tag them as a rewards program member now that they're going through this if you want. And in here we're going to do give points. Now we already have the webhook here set up for you. The only thing we want to change is this points value. Inside of your contacts custom fields, we can go to contact, scroll down to custom fields, and then you have one that says points. You're going to see a lot more custom fields in your
Okay.
account now. Okay, so custom fields points. This is the points that you assigned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to add another one at the bottom that says title. And this is going to be you can call this whatever you want, but it might be like this is just kind of this is a phrase or a title of like how they got these points kind of thing. So it might be like initial setup or something like that.
Oh,
Or
okay.
like moving points over, you know.
Okay.
Um
Yeah, that's fine because
whatever you want to call it.
there's only a few other ways that they can earn points, right? So,
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, okay.
So if we just save this, we're going to save that action, hit save. Um, Now you can add contacts to this workflow and
Okay.
it'll put them through and it'll give them points. And then it's also going to send them an email saying, welcome to the rewards program. If you don't want to do that, then I would delete that email.
Okay.
And possibly if we're just testing it right now, we maybe don't want to send that email.
Okay.
But would you happen to have a contact in there that is not a customer that we could test it with?
Yeah, we could do one of my we could do myself or we could do a, I have a couple of
Yeah,
board members we could test.
I just want to take a quick look at, are those links not working there either?
No, they were. There wasn't I mean it took a minute for them to but there wasn't anything there.
Yeah, I wonder why that one's not working. I don't think that's happening on our end.
So those things weren't on they weren't there before. Um that
That's
looks to
so
me now.
okay, there it went. Weird. I
Oh,
wonder why it's so slow. Maybe it's just because I'm controlling your screen and then we're doing it
no,
over.
it was slow before too.
Okay. All right, so this is our contacts. This is where we're going to be adding people into. Let's go back to that automation. And now everything is pink. I'm gonna go back to the reward system here. Add contact and give points. You said we have a person that we could test out with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and who would I put?
Amanda Carlson. Yep.
This person?
Yep.
Or there's a couple.
That's a duplicate. I need to merge, but yeah.
Okay, and they have points in that point field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's run test here. And then we'll just see it go through. Okay, perfect. So after it usually takes about a minute
Okay.
for them to go through, but if we go to the loyal leaderboard here under contact points, we should see them come through there in a minute or so. I think the automation the um automation runs once a minute.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
So she has 637 points. Those points came out. Those are available points. Those are her lifetime points. We can click on view contact and we can see they got 637 points for that initial setup. There. And I guess it's going to show us both 0 and 637. We're going to add points in whichever. So current 637, and then we have lifetime as redeemed. So that's from now on. Now they should be able to, you can go through and you can give them points, or you can do whichever you want with that. So after having that set up, that's initially adding them to this. Now you've also got the dashboard and everything that they can have access to, and you'll probably want to end up customizing that. That's going to be under here.
Okay.
So this is their dashboard, AR001 rewards. This is under sites. This is where they will see, this is where they can log in to view how many points they have. They can see all their transactions of their purchases, of how they've got points, redeem points, all that kind of thing. You can customize the look of this, and you probably want to change the background images on this too. So this is their, if you want to change these colors, this color is under the blue gradient
Okay.
is under CSS under nav menu up
Okay.
here. I usually Google search gradient generator, and you can choose a new gradient there, or you can get rid of it altogether. If you want to modify what you see up here in your nav, because you probably don't need the loyalty card and possibly referrals up there, but you can remove them from here, and once you change it here, it'll change all the navs to be the same. You can customize this page to be whatever you want. This is going to be a link to your promotions page. So this is where that's another way that they can get in to go view any like deals or flyers or coupons or whatever you have going on. Under earn rewards, this is where they can have the referral links. So depending on what you want to do with that, you'll be able to customize that, remove some sections if you like. Under rewards dashboard, this is where they'll see their points
Okay.
here.
Okay.
And it's the same thing as basically seeing it through that leaderboard link
Okay.
that I showed you earlier. And two steps that you probably need to do now is just seems like you filled out some of the custom values already, which is good. We have details in there, and then because we're pulling in your logo and everything, which is awesome. So what you'll need to do is go through on each one of these funnels and add a domain name
Okay.
so that you can actually use it without adding a domain name to this system here, and then adding each one of your pages to that domain name. It won't go from page to page properly,
Okay.
kind of thing. So if you click preview to preview it, it won't work. Or if you go register or try to click on any of the links, like the one that just got sent out in conversations here, probably sent out here. If we look for Amanda Carlson here, if we look at that, if we click on this, it's not going to take us anywhere.
Okay.
Or this
So,
welcome to Switch Society.
okay, quick question about that is, so I'm not going to use from my understanding, I'm not going to use my regular website domain. I'm going to create like a subdomain for whatever this is going to be in order to use that. Is that
Yeah. So then you can set up as points dot whatever you want, or rewards dot, or whatever you want, however you want to set it up. So just set up a sub, or even go dot Switch Society or whatever.
okay?
Whatever you want to set up, something that's just going to be easy for someone to remember.
Okay. Okay, so you said that was the first step is just to go through the account and set up all the little things, and then what was the other step you said?
Set up the domain name,
Yep.
and then you have to assign the domain name to each funnel page.
Okay.
And there might be some more custom values for you to set up. It looks like you have most of them set up. Like you've gone through that part of the training, and that seems correct.
Okay.
So, that should be good. I want to see if I click update here. Yeah, and I gotta see why that edits details button changed, because it wasn't like that before. So I'll fix that today too, so that we can in custom values there we can set or in our back end dashboard. So that's going to the right place. But yeah, that should get you mostly started, and then probably you might want to reach out and we'll go through a couple more questions there at
Yeah.
some point or whatever, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do, and it just might you might need to just maybe play around with it for a day, and then either on Thursday or maybe book a call with me, and then we'll
Okay.
clean some stuff up and
Okay.
get it working properly for you.
Okay, that sounds great.
But
Thank
for
you
the
so
most part, right now you should be able to. Okay, so one of the only other thing is we've got that thing in our leaderboard
Okay.
there where you can give points and everything for the contact. So you can look them up by phone number and you can give them points. You can do this. So you could do this thing where you do where we're talking about the new add-on items. So like um I think you had like new clothing item or something like that. You can set that up in here.
Okay.
So like
Yeah,
it was what was it like 10 points if they're
yeah, like t 10 to 3 points per item. I right now I have that set up in a form that
yeah.
is filled out, so I should
Okay.
change this instead.
So you could do yeah, you can do it here, which gives
Okay.
you kind of that checkout
Okay.
system so that they can so if you were checking somebody out, you can go to give points, and as they're bringing those items in, you'll just have button here and you go like new item, new item, new item, new item, and it'll add a new item there and it'll add up to all the points that they're getting. And then we don't have one for redeem points yet, but we could probably build a system similar to that as a checkout for redeeming points as well. Depending on how you have your stuff set up. So
Yeah, that I mean that also, so I have both of them set up as a form right now that we're just doing manually.
yeah. So
So
the only thing you would have to do on that form, how come we lost our um, where do I go to get back to high level here? One of these ones. Um, do you know which tab it was to go to high level?
yep, that
That
one.
one right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So under if you're using the form, that's fine. So
Well, I don't need to use the form. I want to make it as easy and automated as possible. That's the whole point of doing all of this.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So under automations, under example, workflow and recipes, there's a give points webhook right here.
Mhm.
So you can take this webhook right here, which is just this is also in that SOP doc that we have
Okay.
at the bottom. This is the same one that we used for the adding a contact. Here you have your link to the trigger or the webhook, and then these are the different fields. So here again, we're giving points. So if you're using a form and you are calculating points of how much points that they get on the thing, you could use the same webhook, just fire this off with whatever your calculation was for the number of points that they get. So if you're using a form to do they just punch in how many points did they get? Like
No,
if they
it's an
bring in a number of items, do they just manually do it and then say,
no, there's only about 5 people on my team that can do inventory because we value different items, different things, and so
okay,
uh and the math comp like it's all formulated math wise. So yeah, so it's a little bit more complicated in terms of how they get. It's not a standard number of points per uh I guess it is a standard number of points per item, but it depends on how many items they have of
yeah,
each yeah.
okay. So we can talk about that, but you can use this webhook here to give points to that customer um
Okay.
after you fill out your form or however you want to do that.
Okay.
Do they just when they're adding inventory in, the people who can do inventory, do they just go to that form and fill out the details and then say how many points they're getting?
Yeah,
One, or they do individual items?
prior to now, it wasn't even digital. Like it was just a paper form that they were
Yeah.
filling. I was entering all the information in. So,
Okay.
So it's all we're at the ground level. We can do whatever you feel like is going to be the easiest
Okay.
way for everybody.
Well, then you take a look at it
Okay.
and kind of play around with it a little bit and then give some feedback and we'll talk about it in the next day or
Okay.
so.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, I'm glad we got that part figured out. Okay, cool. I'm going to figure out how to give up remote control. There I go. And we'll switch back here. And then how's everyone else doing? Does anyone else have any questions for today? JD, how are you?
I'm great. I'm just soaking it in. I'm going to
Okay.
be attending your event tomorrow. I know it was a couple months ago I first attended some of the stuff you were doing, and then have been working on a lot of stuff on my end. So,
Awesome.
uh, yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
attending tomorrow to catch up on some more information, and then I'll get on a call with you on exactly what I'm doing and how we can utilize this. But
Okay, awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. We'll see you tomorrow then.
I just got a
Oh
quick
yeah.
question.
Yeah, for
How,
sure.
so with the light, is it going to be easier to do it on a mass level? Because the biggest thing I'm looking at is anything I design, I'm going to be doing it for potentially in the future thousands of companies. So I want to make sure
Yeah.
it's easy to go ahead and set these
Well,
things up and make it scalable.
again, just depends on what you want to do. The light quote unquote version is really just going to be the promotion system. Um, Promotions on its own really is what we kind of discussed, and that's a big part of what we do for restaurants anyways, is we set those things up, and then they can create the different types of campaigns that are already set up for them,
Mhm.
and then we can drive traffic or like from in-house or whatever. So there's still setup to do because they still need to create their promotions. And with anybody that I've talked to who's even using other systems for setting up loyalty points or promotions or anything like that, is like there's still setup because you need to understand your business, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's like the biggest setup other than setting up like a SMS, a domain name, and your like funnels. Those are the more technical side of things, but the other things are like, how many points are we giving, how are we integrating this into our current business model, and then so that's all part of the setup really, and you need to fill in those values. So I know I've talked with a number of people who've used like say Boomerang Me, or there's like coupon tools, there's a bunch of different other kind of like systems that are similar out there. And you still need to know the business in order to get those things set up. So the biggest part really is just kind of understanding the bit what that business is doing. So we need to have training around, how many points are you offering? And then how do we like, what do you redeem those points for? Or what kind of promotions are we running? So having a little bit of training around, designing your promotional calendar for a year too is occasionally what we'll do, and sit down with clients too and figure out, what kind of promotions are we running for the next however many months. So the setup is all similar. We're trying to make that as simple as possible, where you really, once you fill out the custom values and add your domain name, SMS, stuff like that, you're good to go for the most part. And like we can generally set up a demo in about 30 minutes. Get a like not a demo, but like we can get a site set up in about 30 minutes with all the details and everything like that. So it's not too bad. But yeah, when you have thousands of accounts, setting those up, you'll definitely want to have like a VA or something
Well,
to
yeah, when we
set
get
up those
there,
things.
yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
want to go. Where we're starting obviously is not there, but that's definitely where I want to. That's the vision is because
Yeah, we've
I'm
got to
attaching
be
this, and it was something that I'm actually going to be duplicating and sending to
yeah,
state, to cities all over pretty soon within a
yeah,
year. So I'm trying to
awesome.
develop everything on the systems and back ends to make it as easy as possible when I
Yeah,
go ahead and franchise everything, and that's when we're going to see the huge growth. So I'm just trying to make sure that
okay,
everything I
awesome.
set up And I understand it's going to take some time to hammer out exactly what we need to hammer out to make it work the way we want to make it work. It's not a
Yeah, it's like,
just
so
plug it
for
in and then go.
example, we just set up uh a master demo kind of version of an account for fitness franchise, and they've got 60 locations. But really the first step with that franchise is determining what exactly do they want. Because there's a number of ways you can use the system. We can give points for pretty much any action that you can imagine. And then what do you want to redeem points for? So figuring that stuff out is really kind of the first step, because all the pieces are there and it's very dynamic on how you can utilize it. So it's just setting it up that way. Now the light version is going to be primarily promotions, and the reason is there's a restaurant agency, or they're rolling out a restaurant SaaS, and they have a few clients on there. But again, they want to make it even more dummy proof. So what typically happens, and when you're building your software and your systems and everything like that, is you put all the ideas in, this is what I want to do, but then you end up having to start removing stuff, because you're like, is it really worth having that in there, or is it causing too much friction in getting set up? I was listening to I always relate back to this, but there's a interesting board game design and setting up like these kind of systems and high level and everything, and the automated systems for clients is similar, because I was listening to like board game design podcasts because I find it really interesting. But a lot of the same things. You put in all the stuff that you think that you want to do, all the stuff that you think that you need. And then after you have it in there, you start removing all the stuff that you don't really need to streamline it, right? To make it more accessible, to make it more easy to use. Um, and that's kind of where we're at with everything. So there's a lot of stuff in there, but as an agency, then you need to decide, what do I actually want to deliver? Like, same thing with high level. There's like a million things that you can do. What am I actually going to deliver out of this? Because I can throw IVR onto everybody's plan, but does everybody need an IVR like phone system too? So all different kinds of things. So anyways, as you get more clear on that, we can totally chat. We can totally chat about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm gonna see what you got going again tomorrow, and then we'll set up that call and make stuff happen.
Okay, sounds good. And Courtney, I know you put something in here. Let me to light. What am I missing? Oh, so Courtney, we're just, it's someone just asked me the other day, actually it was last week, if we can put together a light version of the reward system, and essentially just the promotions, just doing promotions, and possibly the loyalty cards. So just removing the reward points out of the restaurant snapshot, and just doing a restaurant marketing one that's focused mostly on the promotions, and not adding in points. Because again, we have some clients who we do a lot of done for you stuff for customers, and we run a lot of ads and doing that kind of stuff. So we throw everything in there, and then we just pick the pieces that we want to use, because typically our clients aren't looking in the back end or going into automations or making any changes, that kind of stuff. Whereas Dave wants to set up, he wants it to be more fully SaaS, because he's got restaurant podcast, restaurant marketing, restaurant, all that kind of stuff. But now he's added high level into his mix of things that he could sell. And he's using our restaurant reward system in order to push that out there. But as you know, there's a lot of options, and when you want to make things more dummy proof, there's just going to start with one piece of it and roll that out, and which is just going to be promotions to start.
I love it. I
So
love it. That's what I was.
yeah,
I,
and that's what we talked about too, right? And I just had a discussion I just posted in our group too, where there's like, what do I sell? Okay, well, we're just even limiting it more now. We had all the pieces a la carte, put them all together. Now we're kind of breaking it apart again.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I did have a question that just came to mind, Jason.
Yeah.
Right now what I'm doing or the plan is to create sub accounts. I mean not sub accounts, subdomains for each. Like right now we're setting up the pet grooming place. Finally, she
Okay.
had told me to change their name and stuff. That's why we didn't hear from her.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But she's ready to move now, and so I'm basically doing like, just for example, petgrooming.goloyalty.com. Is there any so thinking how the gentleman was just talking about, is there any limitation to how many subdomains you can have? Like
Oh,
anything
you
that I
can
need
have
to.
as many as you want.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't get into a
Well,
bind and
no, sorry, that's not true, but the limit's like 1,000 or something like that. And it's not really, but it depends on what registrar you're using or where you have your domain set up. So, and I think Cloudflare,
that's where I
their
am.
yeah, their limitation for the number of C names you can have is something like 1,000 or 3,000 or something like that but that's just on their free account, so I'm sure there's other ways when you get to that point where you're like, okay, well, we've got, we can't add any more subdomains. You might be at a point where you can figure out a different solution. Anyways,
Okay.
Cloudflare might even be able to tell you, but I think Cloudflare has, I forget if it's a limit of 1,000 DNS entries or something like that per domain.
Also,
So
this is no, I get that. I appreciate that. Also, this is a bit, I guess, it's on subject. As far as the from email when you're setting it up in the custom values or whatever.
yeah.
Um, what do you suggest as far as that to keep that easy to maintain it? Because some people don't have a domain, some people do have a domain. Some
I
of
would set up, because you're going to set up a domain and then you're probably going to set up the email custom domain. So I typically, if I'm doing that, I set up their domain as their sending domain. Like, say, for example, you did pets, or yeah, pets, let's say petstore.goloyalty.com. Then I would set them up an email domain that would be like m.pets.goloyalty.com. So you have an email address that is the same as the subdomain that you're using for their account if you're doing that way. And then all email communication can go from, it'll be like restaurant name at, you can put whatever you want at the start, but let's say it was restaurant name like Bob's Pizza at m.bobspizza.goloyalty.com. Or it could be like, or somebody's name, right? You could be Robert at m.bobspizza.goloyalty.com. So, or that's just, or it would be pets, if you're doing pets. So, I would typically set it up that way. If that makes sense, it's like you can create let's see if we have one in here even. Actually, let's go to settings. Let's go to restaurant.
make sure you share your screen.
Let's just see if we have one first.
Okay. I just know you
Yeah.
always.
Okay, here, share screen.
All right.
Okay, so for example, this one is restaurantdemo.freshrep.co is our domain name. If we go to domain name, restaurantdemo.freshrep.co. Now, if I go to email services, I set this up for this sub account, but I do this for clients too, where we don't have access to their domain and we're not creating a sub account or something like that. I might just, so m.restaurantdemo.freshwrap.co is the sending domain that we're going to send from. And then you can put that, like, if we're sending out, so in our from, it could be like, yeah, so it could be like Bob at m.restaurant.freshwrap.co. So it's a long one, but it doesn't really matter because no one's replying to that or having to remember what that
Right.
is. We just
Right.
know that we're going to get better delivery if we have a subdomain set up. So that's going to be specifically for that customer. And you can put anything here in this space for your email. You just want to make sure that you have this set up as your email sending domain. Even add in the DMARC setting for it as well. So when you go to set it up under, if you go to verify, I don't even know if I can see it again in here. You can add more domains too now, whereas before you couldn't. Verify domain. High level gives you the DMARC down here. Doesn't look like I have this set up in our demo account, but this one you have to do manually. So you create a text record in Cloudflare or wherever it is with this as your host name, and then you put in this as your DMARC. So it's just Google, and I think Google and Yahoo are both looking for a DMARC record in there now. And if you don't have it, then your delivery won't be as good, kind of thing. So you want to do it. It's too bad that they don't just automatically do it, but there's so much more stuff you can do with your DMARC record. And as I mentioned before, you can go to dmarc.org and they will give you a ton of resources on how to create a more robust DMARC entry if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
That'll
Awesome.
just help with delivery though. We've been setting this up for most of our accounts since the beginning, and our original subdomain manager that we had hooked up to Mailgun was automatically creating them and adding them to for people. But this high level gives you a suggestion, but they don't implement it for you.
Okay.
So I mean that's a thing. So like even as JD is saying, where you're setting it up where you might have thousands of accounts and or you have more people doing SaaS, it's still a learning curve for those businesses to go in and try to get things set up, especially with phone numbers and emails and how to get all that stuff configured. It's not really a like it'd be nice if it was more of a plug and play system, but like the whole thing with A2P is just it slows people down a little bit anyway because you can't just assign a phone number to them.
Right.
So
Have they made that any faster since? Oh, it's still that
yeah,
waiting.
yeah, it's you can if you have all your stuff in there correct, you can get approved in like 2 or 3 days at most.
Okay.
If you have a small client that's not say going to be sending out mass SMS and everything like that, you can do the sole proprietor setup for them as well, which means they're limited to about 3,000 messages a day or 3,000 message segments, and that will let them get set up within 24 hours. And then if they ever have to upgrade to a full one, they can go and do that. But you with doing the sole proprietor one, say like so for example, if we're setting it up for a business where we know we're not sending out more than 3,000 messages a day, and we're just say driving traffic to a landing page where we're getting them, people opting in for like a deal on painting their house or something like that, then we will just typically do the sole proprietor one because it gets set up really, really quickly. And we know we're not sending out SMS blasts. Even if we do, we're not sending it out more than like 3,000 in a day. So that's usually pretty good for them. And then we don't need to get like their business registration information, their addresses, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It just gets approved through their phone number. They essentially get a text message to their phone and they hit yes, and then they're approved.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
So it's
So okay.
good, but if you're building a mass like marketing SMS system for like a restaurant that could potentially have thousands of customers on there, maybe that's not the best way to go about it, but it's a good way to get them started anyway.
But you said you can upgrade from there, right?
Yeah, you can then go, I believe you can then switch and then go to um go to the full EIN. Now, I've heard like what I've heard from a lot of other people too is that once you get those phone numbers approved and say a customer leaves, don't get rid of the phone number because then you don't have to get it, you don't have to go get another one you can just switch that over to, you have to keep it in the same sub account, I believe, but you could reuse that sub account for something else, especially if you're doing some kind of demos or, free trials, that kind of stuff. Anyways, it's another discussion.
Okay. And then when you upgrade or whatever, it keeps the same number, like you don't have to change
Yeah, I
numbers.
think under settings, if we went to phone numbers in here, I did okay. So for example, our restaurant demo one here, I just did the sole proprietor in here because I'm not, again, we're not sending any mass SMSs from here. This is mostly just for demo purposes so people can test out the system. I think we are set up here as a sole proprietor, which was easy. Yeah, so for any demo accounts, I would just do sole proprietor for that. But then you can go A2P wizard. It's not showing me anything here, but yeah, you can go through and register it as the full one.
Okay.
I don't know if that one, maybe this sub account doesn't have it, but I know our restaurant demo one is set up for sure. Here, so this is the demo one, and this is the one I did the sole proprietor one on. I'll go to Trust Center. You know what? Really interesting because it's not showing me. Well, it says I'm verified already. So we did this one as a sole proprietor. But then you can go and I think you go upgrade. And then that's where you can go do the EIN number and everything like that. In Canada, if we like for us Canadians with our Canadian businesses and stuff, we don't have to do any of this. So we can just have them set up and you just got to buy a phone number and then you're good to go. We don't have to do any kind of approval or anything.
Okay.
Only if we're messaging into the US.
Okay.
All right.
That's all I
Well,
had.
yeah. That's all I got to say about that, I suppose. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, let's wrap it up. If you guys have any more questions or thoughts before we wrap it up for the day. It's a quieter day today with everyone still maybe away or first, I don't know how school's going for everywhere, but I know a lot of people started a while ago. But long weekend being the long weekend, maybe people just aren't ready to chat about work stuff. So I appreciate you guys being here anyways. And yeah, you guys
Before we,
have
I want to know, like, how will we get access to the light once you launch it?
it'll be under promotions. I'll make sure you get access to it. I'm going through this afternoon here and just basically just removing stuff that we don't need and just making sure that system is going to work. So it'll still have a lot of the same stuff as the rewards thing. It won't have the reward, you won't have the rewards dashboard. It'll just mostly just be promotions.
Okay.
For setting that up. So I just got to go through and clean it. I think the easiest way to go do it is take one of the full snapshots and then go remove the stuff that we don't need in there now. So, all right. Yeah, I'll make sure everybody gets access to it and definitely by Thursday, let everyone know how they can get access to it. Awesome. Okay. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me here for the last hour and look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and Thursday.
All right, man. See you later, brother.
All right. Okay. Bye.